Jeremy Bainbridge.
Yep.
And
Jennifer Bainbridge.
your name, ma'am, again is?
Diana Dunkley, Duncklee.
Lee.
Yes, sir.
Okay, this is the matter of the State of Iowa versus Coty Martin Waite. The record should reflect that the state is represented by County Attorney Ben Smith. Oops. Get to my notes here. The defendant is present in person and is appearing pro se. Also present in the courtroom are Deputy Sheriff Brian Arrett and Jeremy Bainbridge and Jennifer Bainbridge, and then Diana Dunkley. Mr. White, you have chosen to proceed without an attorney, is that correct?
Yes.
Okay. Mr. Smith, you can call your first witness.
The state would call Diana Dunkley to the stand, Your Honor.
Come forward, raise your right hand. Swear the testimony you're about to give in this case will be the truth under penalty of perjury.
I swear.
Witness stand.
Diana, how do you spell your name?
Diana Duncklee.
Just one N, Diana.
Yes, sir.
How old are you, Diana?
48.
Where do you live?
I live in Ida Grove. Do you need the specific address?
No. I just didn't know if it's California or... You're an Iowan.
Yes.
And you live near here.
Yes.
What's your relationship to the defendant? You a relative or you...
No, he babysits for me at the time. Or at this time.
At this time?
Yes.
Who does he babysit?
My 9-year-old daughter.
And how often does he babysit her?
I work full-time overnight, so he, since the 19th of October. So approximately 4 days a week.
Okay. And before that? And before you said since the 19th of October you've been
Yeah.
babysitting?
Yes.
Okay. And your relationship with him, I mean, before that, how did you know him?
He lives in the neighborhood. It's the apartment complexes, and he was living with somebody else at the time.
And
And I got to know him.
Okay. So just a neighbor.
Yeah, pretty much.
What has Mr. White told you about this incident?
Just that he has charges for trespassing.
And did he explain to you the nature of the charges? Did he explain?
That's all he's ever said to me.
He-
I just want to know what day it was that he was charged.
Oh, so if he was charged, if the officer charged him with the trespass on the 13th, that wouldn't be possible for him to be babysitting, because you indicated it'd be the 19th?
Right, but he wouldn't be babysitting, but I know that he was in the area
Okay, how do you know that?
because he was working for the neighbor.
Who's that?
Um,
I'm just gonna remind
No.
you, too, before you go further, you remember when you raised your hand and swore an oath,
Yep.
right? It's under
Yep.
penalty of perjury.
Yep.
Okay. Who's the neighbor?
Everybody calls him Dad, and Bryce, I think is his first name. Brett, excuse me. Everybody calls him Papa Brett or Grandpa Brett. And he was staying with him
When did the defendant talk to you about coming to testify?
last week. He said he had on Thursday. Oh, he didn't ask me to testify.
Okay. What did he say?
He just said that he had court today and that he needed a ride.
So you're his right?
Right. And I'm just, if they're saying that he did something on the 13th, I don't understand how he could be in two places at once.
Did you just ask me before, and maybe I'm misunderstanding, but did you ask me just minutes ago, or state minutes ago, that you were wanting to know on what day he allegedly did this?
Yes. I don't even know what day he allegedly did anything. All I know is he has court today for trespassing.
But you don't know the day on which he was alleged to
No.
have done any of these things?
No.
So when you told us about a guy named Dad, what's that all about? Him hanging out with a guy named Dad, why is that relevant if you don't know?
Because I know that he was at his place a couple weeks before he started babysitting for me.
Okay.
And that he was helping clean apartments.
Okay. So you can't be sure whether or not he was cleaning apartments with this guy, or living with this guy, or hanging out with this guy on or around the 13th of October?
I would say that, honestly, I believe that he was with this guy working
How often does he work for this guy?
whenever needed. But he was living with him, and their apartment complex is less than 500 feet from mine.
Did the defendant ever tell you how he got over to Odebo?
No,
Did the defendant tell you his version of events
no,
as to what happened?
no.
What did the defendant tell you as to his culpability in these matters? Did he say, I wasn't there, I didn't do it?
No.
What did he say?
He just said he had court and that he was being charged with trespassing.
And he gave you a date,
No.
but he told you the court date.
Right, because he needed a ride to court.
And you, okay, so then you said, I'll just ride along, and if it happens to land on one of the dates,
He
that you're
didn't-
either babysitting for my children or working for this guy, then I'll testify for you.
I didn't tell him that at all.
Okay.
I just came up here with the understanding that he was charged with trespassing.
So what's,
He did state that he was charged on the 14th for trespassing, now that I recall. And that's all he said.
but he couldn't have been babysitting for you.
No, but that was the first day. I know that he was in the neighborhood.
When is the first time defendant knew that you could be possibly testifying on his behalf and providing an alibi?
When you guys asked me to come up
That's the
here.
first time?
Yes.
Okay. Never discussed before?
No.
Okay. I don't have any further questions.
You have any questions for this witness?
No, sir.
All right, you may step down. Mr. White, I probably should have, I ordinarily do give a little dissertation at the start of these things, insofar as order of proof and burden of proof. So, you know, I will tell you now that the state has the burden of proving your guilt beyond a reasonable doubt. Because they have that burden, they go first. They get to call their witnesses first. You have an opportunity to cross-examine any of the state's witnesses. They cannot call you as a part of their case in chief because you have a privilege against self-incrimination under the Fifth Amendment. However, if at a point in the trial you choose to take the stand and testify, at that point you're waiving your Fifth Amendment rights and you are subject to cross-examination. So when the state rests, then you will have to make a choice about whether you want to testify or not. If you don't feel the state has proven your guilt beyond a reasonable doubt, or has presented evidence that I can infer guilt beyond a reasonable doubt, you may choose not to testify. If you do choose to testify, you're going to be subject to cross-examination. All right? All right. Next witness.
State will call Jennifer Bainbridge.
Raise your right hand. Swear the testimony you're about to give in this case will be the truth under penalty of perjury.
Yes.
Take the witness stand.
Ms. Bainbridge, how old are you?
I'm 36.
And you reside at 613 West 4th Street, Notibolt.
Yes, I did.
How long have you lived there?
10 years.
And who do you live with?
My husband, Jeremy Bainbridge, and my 2 children.
And is that within the city limits of Notibolt?
Yes, it is.
And could you describe the property, your house?
It's a 1.5 story house. Sits on 2 lots with a 2-car garage. And we have a camper on the side of our garage.
And is that camper on your property?
Yes, it is.
What kind of camper is it?
40-foot trailer, travel trailer.
Okay, so is that's nothing that, like, you couldn't drive it yourself?
No.
You have to hitch it to something?
Correct.
Okay. What brand is it?
Dutchman.
I'm not familiar with trailers. Is that a medium size, large, small?
Large.
Larger. Now, have you ever met the defendant?
No, I do not.
Have at any time, I guess you've never met him, have you ever given him permission to be in your trailer?
No.
Now, how did you come to learn that defendant was in your trailer, or who told you?
I was told by Danielle Shively's mother, Marcia.
And
by
who's,
text.
okay, and who's Danielle Shively?
She is a neighborhood girl that, I believe she's 17, that her siblings, and including her, all run around with my kids.
Okay. So neighborhood kid, so to speak.
Correct.
How old is Danielle?
17, I believe.
Okay. So you were told by Danielle's mother that Danielle and defendant were in your trailer without your permission,
Yes.
and she told you that by text.
Yes.
Did you give Danielle permission to be in the trailer?
I did not.
Okay. Did your husband?
No.
Anybody that would have, I guess it would just be your husband or the owners of that, right?
Yes.
Okay. I don't have any further questions.
You have questions for this witness?
No, sir.
All right, you may step down. Next witness.
State rest, Your Honor.
Mr. White, you wish to testify?
No, Your Honor.
All right. Case is submitted. Actually, do you want to call anybody as witness?
No, sir.
All right, case is submitted.
Thanks, Judge.